Illinois is the latest state to pass legislation that requires employers to provide paid leave for their workers. Now, Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker does plan to sign this legislation into law, and it would require paid vacation and without any restrictions on what you're taking the time off for, which is really, really important. Maine and Nevada have similar laws, although this is obviously something that's incredibly common in other industrialized countries, right? So the fact that we have to rely on states to pass their own legislation and the fact that we don't have a federal law pertaining to paid leave is insane. But in terms of paid sick time, only 14 states, along with Washington, D.C., require employers to offer paid sick leave, although employees may only use it for health-related issues. Now, this graph kind of shows you, or this map of the United States shows you which states have that policy in place.
Kind of looks like blue states.
A lot of blue states, yeah. But even in that case, it's mandated paid sick leave, only sick leave, and that's the problem. In the case of Illinois, they went further and they're like, no, paid leave, and it doesn't matter what they need the paid leave for. So let's get to the details on Maine and Nevada. So Maine and Nevada also allow workers to decide how to use their time, but substantial exemptions apply. Maine's earned paid leave law only applies to employers with more than 10 employees, and Nevada's exempts businesses with less than 50. Illinois will reach nearly all employees and has no limit based on the business size. So Illinois is the most progressive state when it comes to this specific policy, okay? And I love it, and I think that this is a model that the federal government should look into. Now, those exempt from the new rules in Illinois include seasonal workers such as lifeguards, federal employees or college students who work non-full-time jobs, and also temporary jobs for their university, right? So if you're a temporary university worker, this would not apply to you. So the Illinois law, or the legislation, would take effect next year, January 1st, 2024. Employees will accrue 1 hour of paid leave, or accrue, I should say. They will accrue 1 hour of paid leave for every 40 hours worked, up to 40 hours total. Although the employer may offer more, employees can start using the time once they have worked for 90 days. Look, I kind of hate those parameters. I think it's annoying. If you need to take time off, especially if it's for an emergency or an illness, you can't really plan for that. So what happens if it's before the 90 days, right? Anyway, but it's better than nothing, and it's certainly better than what we've seen in the vast majority of states, so.
Yeah, so first of all, hey, let's celebrate good news. Look at that, politicians did something that was positive for their citizens. It's very, very rare in America, so congrats to Pritzker. So nice job on that, and to the legislature as well. Okay, so number two, look, you can argue about some of the provisions, like, hey, should it really apply to companies that have 10 employees or less? That's when you're struggling and starting your own business. It's sometimes can add up, etc. But overall, overwhelming majority of Americans agree. Yeah, we should be able to get some sick leave, some family leave time when a woman has gives birth, right? I mean, really, are we expecting her to get back on the assembly line the next day? That's crazy, right? So it's not a controversial position at all. 84% of Americans, for example, want paid family leave. And so that was supposed to be federal legislation, it was supposed to be in Build Back Better, and it included both maternity and sick leave, right? So, by the way, 74% of Republicans want it. That's 3/4 of Republican voters say, yes, I want that. You know why? Because they're workers, and they're human beings. And they go, yeah, sometimes you get sick, sometimes you have a kid. I thought we were pro-life, right?
By the way, yeah, go
but
ahead.
Just to finish the thought, literally at the national level, literally 0 Republican politicians are in favor of it, even though 3/4 of their voters want it.
That's right.
And the Democrats pretend that they want it, and almost all of their voters are in favor of it. But wait, what's stopping the Democrats from introducing that now in the Senate, which they control, and going on a warpath about it and saying, why are Republicans against 3/4 of their voters? Why are they against it? Why are they against their own voters? Why are they against their own voters? But they don't do that. The reason is they don't actually want it either, because they both get bribed by the same people, companies. That's why when you have a story like this, you go, wow, look at Pritzker doing the right thing. All right, congrats. And when you see that map and you see it's pretty much all blue states, in the red states, if you're a Republican voter, you want this. Because why? What, are you gonna go in sick? That's crazy, right? But you don't get it because your politicians sold you out. Just understand that. So the blue states aren't nirvana or anything like that, but we have a little bit more, right? A tiny bit more protection. And that's not a bad thing, that's a good thing. And you might not know it if you listen to right-wing media, but you're actually in favor of it.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.